Hello, friends. 1st of February, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman presented the annual central budget for 26-27. And on the 5th of February, Mrs. Chandrima Bhattacharya presented the Bengal budget for the state. For us in Bengal, the important part in the central budget is what has the so-called anti-Bengali Modi government given the state, and how do both budgets, central and state, compare from an overall development perspective. So let us go through the highlights of both the budget and let us analyze the good, the bad, and the extreme ugly that we can see. Let's first look at the good. The first big announcement, according to me, is in the central government, the allocation of nearly 529 crores for the Kolkata metro expansion. This is quite good news. And this is good news from the perspective that this funding should now accelerate the expansion of the Kolkata metro, especially the orange line in New Korea to airport and the purple line from Joka to Esplanade. Secondly, the funding will sort of hopefully overcome much of the infrastructure bottlenecks, such as the well-known Chingrigata road block, or it may also improve the citywide connectivity, which for sure the metro really needs. And this time, I really hope with the extra allocation of funding, the Bengal government also takes this seriously. And whatever silly political vendetta politics we see, which has stopped this project from hitting the completion stage, that goes away. And both central and state governments cooperate. So if I can request, Didi, please, Modi ji does not need the metro. It is the common people of Kolkata who need it. So please, Didi, this time, to Shahjogita Kurun, and let's get this done. And maybe, hopefully, we can see Didi and Modi ji inaugurating this new line anytime soon. After that, it will add a huge boost to the daily passengers who are, stuck in traffic jams, what seems forever. Next is a very significant 1,000 crores of funding to GSI based in Kolkata. Now, the Geological Survey of India, as you know, has, presence across the country, but it's headquartered in Kolkata. And this funding is specifically, I'm told, for strategic mineral exploration. The lithium, the cobalt, the graphite, the nickel, and those rare earth elements that which every country in globally wants. This is basically for exploration of that, and GSI is going to play a major role in that. So I hope that this means that there will be more funding available for GSI and its staff in West Bengal, in Kolkata, and that is a good thing. After that, same on this same science temperament, a significant funding also has come, around 500 crores, 486 crores, maybe to exact, for VECC, the Variable Energy Cyclotron Center in, I think, Bidhannagar, which is going to get a major upgrade in its facilities. Now, as we know, Bengal has a long history of producing some of India's and maybe the world's best scientists. So getting funding for institutes which are located, national importance institutes located in Bengal is good. And hopefully that's a step in the right direction. After that, what really excited me about the budget is the funding for Kolkata Port. Kolkata Port is something which is close to my heart. I have had people in my family who have worked for that. And that is something which we really need to modernize. Kolkata Port is no way close to, we see the modern ports based out of China, or even the upcoming ports in India in, Mundra and Dhamra, which are like really good or being modernized by the Adani Group. Kolkata Port is not at that level. And this funding should bring it to that level. It will expand the cargo facilities in Balagod, I'm told. And it will also the funding will create a regional center of excellence for training personnel in Kolkata. So that's a major thing. And I really hope in the next few years, the state and the central government really hope to use the geographical advantage that Kolkata has and Kolkata port has to, make it one of the best ports in the country. Post this, there was quite a bit of announcement regarding in the pharma industry and the funding that has gone into NIPER, which is the, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, which is, I think, based out of somewhere in Panihat. NIPER will get extra funding to do high-end research at this center. And this institute, which is of national importance, should again boost Bengal's image as having an institute of major research and development, be it in the pharmaceutical field. The next point that I'm going to talk about is something which is a little bittersweet, but I hope the tide is turning, and that is the jute industry in Bengal. As we all know, right, from independence, after independence, 60s, and parts of 70s, Bengal was almost the jute capital of the country. There used to be major mills all along the Ganges river, which used to produce high quality jute, which was sent all across the country and also abroad. In the 70s and the 80s, all that changed. Now I can talk a lot about how the left front government sort of ran down all the jute mills, made over hundreds of jute mills closed down, and also millions or lakhs of workers became jobless. But the fact of the matter is that even after that, in the last 10 years, there has not been much of a revival, right? That body blow that the comrades gave to the jute mills have never recovered. And till now, that was the case. But things are changing. The National Fiber Scheme was announced. I think partly it was announced previous to the budget, but now it is taken more seriously. Because in the union budget, a lot of importance has been given into self reliance when it comes to natural fibers. And jute has been recognized as a natural fiber. So, Bengal, or, from an agricultural point of view, the Bay of Bengal, the Delta region, is a major growth area for jute and for jute based agriculture. So it just makes sense that the industry or the manufacturers of jute or jute products or processing units will be based here. So jute getting the due recognition and getting funding to grow jute and to boost its agriculture and to boost its sort of processing in Bengal can just revive the long forgotten jute industry. This, in my view, can be one of the biggest gain for Bengal from the budget in 2026. Now, of course, the state government, if it can come up with its own policy to augment the policy of the central government to make jute, sort of core in its industrial expansion, then that nothing like it. That would be fantastic. So I really hope that the message goes out to the TMC and to Didi that the jute industry again needs focus, and whatever was done in 30 years of the left front government, it's the time to revive, because from a central government there is a push for it to become Atmanirbhar in natural fibers, and jute is certainly recognized as well. Now, next I'm going to talk about the freight corridor, or I am told east-west freight corridor, which is being given a major sort of boost between Dankuni and Surat in Gujarat. So that will sort of integrate Bengal into the backbone or the national logistical backbone, and sort of cut with the western freight corridor, make Bengal and easy transportation of Bengal-based manufactured products throughout the country and then abroad very easy. So that is also again in this budget. And finally, we finally in Bengal get what we all were waiting for, that is a bullet train. Now, I know many people have their reservations about why we need a bullet train, why we don't upgrade our existing trains, and people are still struggling in general compartments. We need both, to be very honest. There is no doubt that India needs HSR or high speed rail. So the Siliguri to Benares bullet train will, sort of ensure that Bengal, sort of plugs into this bullet train ecosystem that will slowly be built in India over a period of time. This is not going to happen tomorrow. So let's not, say that, oh, wow, we are going to have a bullet train from Siliguri in next 2 years. No, that it will not happen. It will take about 4 or 5 years or even more. And leading up to 2047, a lot of the budget announcements in the central budget is about 2047. So the fact that we have got a foot into the bullet train, sort of things, and we are not left out, that is great. And for North Bengal, this is a major boost. No doubt North Bengal has been neglected in the last 40 years. A region with tremendous tourism potential, strategically located and the crossroads of trade, has been neglected and nothing much has happened. So with this bullet train, I think it can be sort of turbocharged into a lot of other industries, a lot of other things, a lot of other trade coming into North Bengal and specifically Siliguri. So that's again a gain from the budget. And finally, I want to highlight, although there are many other things we can talk about, but finally, I want to highlight is that there is also a lot of mention about Durgapur, the steel city, which could have been another big development industrial hub for Bengal, but sadly it has not. It has sort of stagnated over the last few decades. But Nirmala ji has sort of said that Durgapur will be a nodal point in the integrated East Corridor or industrial corridor, uh, which is part of their Purvodaya States initiative, and even adjoining towns like Panagarh will be greatly benefit. So maybe Durgapur, you can get your name in the lights and can again become or should become one of the major industrial hubs of Bengal. And things are just not limited to Kolkata, which shouldn't be the case. Now, as I said, there are many more announcements that are for Bengal or for Eastern India that we can talk about: medical tourism hubs, development of tourist destinations, e-buses, and things like that. But if we sort of look at the budget, the central budget as a whole, I think Bengal and of course an industrial state like Tamil Nadu is one of the major beneficiaries of this budget. Now, it is, as I keep on saying, it is up to the state government. And today we have the TMC, and maybe we'll have them again, or we have a new government in place. But they need to coordinate, doesn't matter who it is. They need to collaborate with the central government to get the maximum benefit out of these. You should look at states like Tamil Nadu, states like Telangana, which are not, the same party is in power as the central government, but still they're able to do that. So that is something that I really hope the 2026 budget really hits for, and we get those benefits in the state, be it in transportation, in industry, in getting funding for research into the state. All of these opportunities we should be grabbing with both hands. So let's hope that happens. And that is what the good central budget for Bengal is all about. Now stick around for the bad and the ugly. Now, if we look at the bad of the budget that I have mentioned about, it is bad not only from a budget perspective or from a fiscal perspective, but it is bad for the state, for the future of the state, the future of the people. And I'm talking about the Bengal budget in 2026, which Mrs. Chandrima Bhattacharya was, had announced on the 5th of February, if I'm not wrong. Now, in that, one of the major announcements that comes out, and I understand it's election year, is the proposal to include 500 rupees hike for the Lokhi Bhandar scheme from February. Now, why this is an absolutely death rattle for Bengal from a fiscal point of view is that Bengal's own Lokhi Bhandar or its own coffers are absolutely empty. About 8 lakh crore of debt. That is what the Bengal government has. That is what the state of Bengal has. So it is crazy that we are increasing the amount of dole that we are giving. And for sure, it's because of election. There's no way to look around that. Other states have also done that. The BJP has also done that. Congress has also done that. Not getting into the politics of it. But other states have the money to afford it. We do not. 8 lakh crore of debt. How are we going to give an increase in the sort of Lokhi Bhandar dole that we are giving up? For a state which is almost on ventilator from a financial point of view, this is really, really bad. And if you look at the condition of its finances and the fact that it is struggling to pay salaries, DNS allowance has to be, sort of begged from the Supreme Court, which has now given a directive to the state government to pay it within, pay a portion within 31st of March. It is crazy that we are increasing our burden. And it would be very, very interesting to see how the TMC government is able to pay this, DNS allowance pending arrears to the state government employees. So in that scenario, increasing the additional budget of rupees 500, per remittance for the Lokhi Bhandar scheme, it seems absolutely crazy. It is just ridiculous to do, but it has been done. As I said, it's an election year. Crazy things will happen. Will that make, the people who are getting the money sort of think, oh, financially the state is being drained, or people in general will think about the condition, fiscal condition of the state. I'm not sure. I hope that happens. That can help people to make, better judgment when they go to vote in a few months' time. But that is something that we need to consider. Now, if you feel that this is bad, then wait for the next segment where we talk about what is the ugly part of Bengal's budget. When I talk about ugly in Bengal's 2026 budget, what stands out is priorities and how we have got our priorities spectacularly wrong. In this year's budget announced on the 5th of February, we have given about 5,713, if I can put this figure on the screen, 5713.61 crore was allocated to Madrasa Education Department. Let me repeat, 5,713 crore was allocated to Madrasa Education Department. Yes, what you see on the screen, what you're hearing from me, that number is correct. So if we look at it this way, if we need 1 crore to build a district level or a panchayat level, even multiple panchayats together, hospital or a school or some sort of infrastructure, a bridge, then we can build 5,713 such hospitals and schools and bridges with this 5713 allocation of madrasa education. Now, you may say that it's still education, right? No. This 5713 is only for madrasa education because overall, higher education only gets in 1,500 crores. And worse still, industry, the one part which we lack desperately in Bengal for the last 30, 40 years, that only gets 1,400 crores. The same industry for which we have a big summit and we have been having for the last 8 years called Bengal Business Summit. The motto of this summit is Bengal means business. Really? Bengal means business? 1,400 crore. Just 1,400 crore for industry and 5,713 crore for madrasa education. So no, I'm sorry. Bengal does not mean business. And that is not my opinion. That is what your budget allocation is. Bengal does not mean business. Bengal means madrasa education. That is as per the government's allocation in their budget. Now, many viewers may say, oh, we don't need industry. And I've heard this argument before. We can do well in agriculture. Well, let me take you back to the Tata Nano factory. Well, there is no factory, but let me take you back to Singur. Has those lands that were taken away from Tata when they left, are we growing anything in them? Are they agricultural lands right now? No. And they never will be. Have those farmers been compensated suitably? Would they want the factory? Would have wanted the factory to be built? Do they want the factory to be built now? Absolutely. So no, we cannot be saying that we will go high on agriculture because no, we are not the highest producing agriculture state in the country. Not even, in the top 3. So why, if the fiscal state of Bengal is so poor, if we are debt ridden, if we are desperate for industry, if we are desperate for higher education, if we are desperate for agriculture, why do we need 5,713 crores for madrasa education? Even a young Muslim graduate would need job and opportunities and industries to work on. Even they might be saying, I cannot go back to madrasa for education. I am done with that. I need to work. There is no work. Why will I have to go to Gujarat? Let me stay here. So the industry part, the education part, the overall higher education, agriculture, infrastructure, that is where the money should have gone. But unfortunately, and let me again repeat the figure, 5,713 crore has gone for madrasa education. So we have made a choice that we are not going to produce the best doctors, the best engineers, or not have the best manufacturing or industries in Bengal. We are going to probably make the best Maulavis. Now, do we really need so many Maulavis coming out of 5,713 crore funded madrasas? I'm not sure. And that is a question that we need to ask. That is a question every Bengali who will go to vote after the next few months needs to ask. And we need to ask it ourselves. We don't need to go and ask politicians. We don't need to, discuss with anybody. These are the facts of the budget. the budget that has just come out few days back. And we need to ask ourselves what kind of budget we need next time, what kind of state we want next time. And when we have those answers, we will know whom to vote for. And at the end of the day, the people, the choice of the people is what will prevail. And I hope we ask these questions when we are making the choice. That's it for today. Do let me know your views in the comments and see you in the next video.